Hey guys, I'm Brandon McReynolds. This is the Clear 28 podcast, proven, driven, born to perform. And today we sit down with one of our clients and NASCAR Xfinity Series winner, multi-time champion in the ARCA Series, and Truck Series winner, Sam Mayer. Well, Sam, really appreciate you coming on our podcast. Obviously, you've been someone that I've competed against a long time. I know we have a pretty large age gap in between us, you being much older than me, but definitely wanted to have you on the show. In my opinion, and the stats don't lie, you've done a lot, in the sport in such a short period of time. But with that, you have a ton of experience. To be honest with you, as much as we do know about each other from working together, I spotted for you for a little while. We've raced against one another. What was day one in racing like for you? I know you grew up in Wisconsin. What was the first race that you watched, or how do you remember even starting to show interest in racing, and why not do something different? What made racing so attractive for you, and how'd you get going doing it?
Yeah, racing's a very, if your dad's in racing, you're usually in racing, which you know that with Larry and being crew chief and everything like that. But it was the same thing with me. Is my dad was in IndyCar for a while. He did sports cars, and pretty much he was just kind of in the know about racing. And obviously being a 3-4-year-old son of a race car driver, he's going to kind of put me in it a little bit myself. And it's all I knew. Racing is this, racing is that. All I could think about was racing or holding a steering wheel in my hand. So that's how I first got kind of into it. I never watched racing or paid attention really to it at all. It was just me wanting to do it and being, I guess, just wanting to do it, I guess is the best way to put it. I wasn't forced upon it or anything like that. It was just something that I felt comfortable with. It's something that I just wanted to do all the time, and that's all I thought about.
Yeah.
Obviously, growing up around that and then growing up and being in that, I started when I was 4 years old, racing competitively. So, it's really all that I knew. People ask me all the time, what would I do if I wasn't a race car driver? And I can never answer that question because I don't think about anything else. I don't know anything else. Racing is all that I know.
It's been your whole life,
my whole life. So, I just got into it really young, and obviously my dad retired, started focusing on me and my racing career more. So, I was traveling all around the country, whether it's go-karts or legend cars down here in Charlotte. I was just always in a car most weekends out of the year.
Yeah.
So, for the first 10 years of my life or even my career, it's all that I knew.
What kind of go-kart racing was that? Mostly up north, Midwest, kind of all over, and was that oval track, road course? What was that first start like, and what did the schedule look like? Was it traveling all around with your family? What did that kind of look like for you?
Yeah, early on it was all local stuff, just getting my feet wet in it, really. So my dad being IndyCar, obviously you're in the open wheel side of things, a lot more road courses than ovals, and go-karts you're really just doing road courses and the stuff that I was doing. So honestly, the first I don't even know how long of my career I was really thinking about IndyCar, open wheel, going down that route. If I were to go to races, it would be IndyCar at the Milwaukee Mile, Road America, stuff like that. I never really thought or even knew or understood about stock car racing. So it was something that kind of came later in my career, which is funny because it's all I think about now. But growing up, it's all I thought about was doing road course and go-karts and turning right, turning left, traveling all over the country. Once I got old enough to really pursue it, I guess, as something I want to chase, it's hard to call it a career when you're 8 years old.
Yeah.
Because it's something that you're just going and doing, but it's the preparation and the experience to kind of push you forward. And I guess wait until you're old enough to really actually get into bigger cars. But I would go all over the country. I actually went overseas and did a little bit of go-kart racing overseas. So
what was that like? Did your mom and dad or your dad go with you, or
yeah,
what was that experience like?
My dad was really just on my hip the whole time. He loves it and still does. So he was by my side the whole time and pushing me forward. There was weekends where I didn't want to do it or I wasn't feeling good, and he would be like, dude, you have to understand that adversity is everywhere. You're not going to feel good a weekend, and just be able to quit. You gotta pursue that. So he pushed me a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I had really good people around me, really blessed for the opportunities that I had to get in different types of cars, different go-karts and stuff like that, and win tons and tons of races. Like, there were so many trophies at my house up in Wisconsin at one point that I actually had to give away a bunch of the second and third place ones because it literally, there was just no room. So we donated them to like the local go-kart track to rebrand them and give them away to like the go-kart kids or whatever. So there was a lot of that and a lot of humility involved with having my dad and my family around. My mom and my sister came every now and then, but a lot of it was just me and my dad. Like, we were just doing bro trips every weekend and hanging out at the racetrack together.
That's awesome. No, so like, and you said this, you know, when you start out and you're young and you're racing, like, everyone has a different background, obviously. And there's guys that, you know, grow up running bandoleros or grow up out west or grow up, you know, Midwest, up north. For you and your family, when did the discussions, like, what year did the discussions about, okay, like, we probably need to figure out how to get Sam racing in Charlotte, North Carolina? Like, what year was that? And who were y'all aligned with? Like, who did you talk to? Because, like, for me growing up in this industry, one thing, and you know this because it's a pretty small community, one thing we're guilty of is not knowing a lot of people that don't come from Charlotte, North Carolina, or that don't grow up, you know, in the industry. So, like, how did you break into the Charlotte conversation, you know, as far as the motorsports industry, and start putting your name on the map more here? And when did that happen?
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't really remember when exactly I decided to go stock car racing over IndyCar, F1 or whatever. It was just one random day. Literally, I remember at least walking up to my dad and be like, "Dad, what about NASCAR?"
Yeah.
Like, it was the first time where I really kind of understood racing on a bigger level. And I was like, NASCAR is pretty cool.
Yeah.
What about NASCAR? Like, literally just randomly.
Yeah.
I'm probably like 10, maybe 11, like super young still. And he's like, well, I don't know, bud. Like, cause he had no connections, or he wasn't in the know about NASCAR.
Yeah.
He was always IndyCar, open wheel, sports cars, whatever. NASCAR was a world where he never broke into. So for him, it was like, like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So the connection is so funny because I'm still really little. My dad's trying to figure out what my career is going to look like. And one of his teammates at the sports car team he was on was Colin Braun.
Oh, wow.
And obviously Colin had a long career in sports cars, a lot of career in open wheel stuff, and he was also in NASCAR for a little bit. So he had a little bit of connections down here in North Carolina, Charlotte area, and one of them was Lauren Ranier.
Oh, gotcha.
So Lauren Ranier was actually the guy that kind of jump-started the career for me down here in North Carolina, and got me into the legend cars and the late model program with Chevy. There's just a lot of different connections that we never would have made if it wasn't for Colin and Lauren. So by the time I was 11, turning 12, I went from go-karts and I started getting into the legend car more often. So it was something that was new to me because it was obviously like stock car type, like you're in a world where you're just turning left. Like, that was all new to me as well. Like, I'm used to road courses and curbs and jumping curbs and grass and all this, and now there's concrete walls and you're in a cockpit, or you're not in a cockpit, you're like in a car. So it's
just going left.
Oh my gosh, it was way different. It was a whole new world. And so the first year, which this is also really funny, so Lauren got us hooked up with Tyler Green.
Yeah, your spotter now.
Yeah, it's so funny because he spots for me now, and it's funny, like, all the people that are in my inner circle now, like you and Tyler and a lot of people around me now, have been in my circle in and out for the last like 8 years. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
so
small world.
It is. You said that earlier. It's such a small world. So having Tyler on my legend car for the first year or two that I was in it was really fun. We didn't win a whole lot because it was so new to me. I mean, it's a huge jump for a 10-year-old doing go-karts to stock cars type stuff. So it took a little while for me to figure out, but I finally did and became a race winner, Bojangles Summer Shootout champion.
There you go.
National champion. Like, like once I figured it out, it went pretty quick. So, I mean, by the time I was 14 years old or 13 and a half, I was already getting in late models. So I was at that time pretty young for that. So there wasn't a lot of, the rules were different back then because you had to be a lot older to do a lot of that stuff. So we kind of broke through that and kind of got into the late model side, and that's really when I started paying attention to like NASCAR.
What was
like watching?
So like, you mentioned going out to the summer shootout, and man, that deal is no joke. Like it's super competitive. There's a lot of young talent. There's a lot of aggression. For me, I never really ran legend cars. It was always Bandoleros, and then I went up to like a 3/4 Allison Legacy, scaled car. What year was it when you left legend car racing? Because to me, and we'll get there more in a little bit when we start racing together, but to me, when I first heard of Sam Mayer, it was like, okay, this kid is going to be Chevrolet's like development driver, right? Like you're the next guy coming up through the ranks. You had, I feel like, a lot of momentum behind you. You mentioned Lauren Ranier, who has a great connection with GM and Chevrolet. Who did you go and run late models for, and how long did you run those, and where all were you racing at once you got to that level of your career?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, by the time that I got into the circle track world down here in North Carolina, I was just turning 12. And by the time I was already running late models, I was 14. So like in a 2-year span, I went from not knowing how to turn left to running a late model for junior motorsports. Like it went really, really fast. So that's who I ran late models for. I ran the Cars Tour for a full year and just got as much laps in a full body stock car as I possibly could. And things went just really fast. Like I said, like 2 years Legend Cars, became a national champion, got into a late model, won my first race actually, which I didn't think I could do that, but I did.
Yeah.
And won cars races and just became really successful really quickly in the Chevrolet program. Yeah. And that's kind of when everything kick-started, because later that next season was my first time ever getting into the K&N cars and the ARCA cars. So
that would have been
2018 was the first time. Yeah. 2018 was the first time I got into like a full ARCA car. For the first time.
Was that New Hampshire or Dover or something? Didn't you run
my first one was Gateway.
Gateway.
Yeah, okay. Gateway was my first time. I'm not sure how we got the licensing for that. I guess it's because it's under 1 1/3 miles.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gateway was like one of my first couple races or whatever, and I ran like Iowa and stuff like that as well. So I've been running at these different racetracks for a long time. It seems like just in and out for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, from the time I first learned what circle track racing was to then running full body K&N cars, I mean, it was like 3.5, 4 years. So it just went really quick, and I didn't have a whole lot of time to learn. Like, I wish we would have almost slowed down a little bit at that level, because it would have given me more time to genuinely get experience, learn hard lessons, and it probably would have changed my career path just a little bit in a better way. But it definitely just, everything moved really, really fast. And I mean, by the time I was 17 and a half or 18, not even, I already have had a conversation with JRM and a contract signed. Yeah. Like I wasn't even of age to drive the cars, and the contract was already signed. So it was like, it just moved really, really fast. And like, obviously COVID came around, so that slowed everything down even more, and it made the learning progression a lot harder. So everything was like almost a little bit too fast for me. I needed probably an extra year maybe to get it really dialed in, but obviously I'm still really grateful and blessed to be where I am now.
Well, yeah, and you bring up a good point. I mean, I think to me it's, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when you have success that quickly, it's like, gosh, like this is easy, right? So like your dad, Lauren, GM, like everyone's probably like, yeah, just keep moving him up. He's winning. Like, let's keep it rolling. And you still are. So I think, to your credit and your ability and what you bring to the table, on and off the track, like you're naturally good at it. Right. So it's like, keep on trucking. For me, when I when I was running in, because you would have gone full time K&N racing. Was it for GMS with
GMS
Marty
in 19? Yeah.
in 19? So we raced against each other in 19 at New Smyrna. And so Marty Lindley would have been your crew chief then, I believe, on the 21. Was it the 21 car?
Yeah.
And, man, y'all were fast, and your equipment was really nice. Obviously, you were trying to still learn some of those short tracks, probably a little bit more than you knew them. But I remember specifically you've raced against so many guys since then, and I have to hang on to these memories because I'm a washed-up race car driver. But, we ran, side by side for a lot of that race. And I remember – the one thing that I think I was decent at was being aware and just knowing, like, gosh, like, man, this Sam guy, he's a young kid, and here I am. I've raced in New Smyrna a bunch. I test trucks down there for different folks with Turner Motorsports back when Carmichael was around, and Reed Sorensen was running their Busch car, their Xfinity car, and man, I was pretty impressed, and that was the first time we had really raced side by side, and we'd go down in the corner and you'd hold the outside really tight and try to take away my exit. And it was pretty impressive. And in point being, after that race, we were only running a partial schedule that year with our team. But, I knew quickly, it's like, man, they're going to have a lot of success. So what was that year like running your first full-time, K&N, now obviously called ARCA? What was that like working with Marty and the folks at GMS? Because success came pretty quickly that season.
Yeah, for sure. So I ran 2 seasons at GMS, and we kind of sprinkled in a little bit of trucks once I got old enough, because you can run the short tracks in the truck series at 16. Obviously, to go full-time, you have to be 18. But so we ran 3-4 races a year in the truck series or whatever. But yeah, 2 seasons at GMS. Awesome experience. So many good people up there. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, we won 2 championships in 2 years, my first year and my second year. So to go full time and just win right away, like, obviously you're expected to win when you're in probably the best stuff. Like GMS at the moment was probably the best, other than like Gibbs and Venturini and stuff like that. But we were taking it to them at least every weekend, if not we were the best car. So
and you won
it moved really quickly.
Well, and you won the you and I have talked about this when we started working together on the management agency side. Like, man, you went to Bristol. What year was that? And on a partial truck ride, you're running full time K&N / ARCA, and man, you guys wore them out. Like, it was the 24 truck. I think Marty, maybe Charles Denike was working
Charles
on it.
On that one. So Marty did my first year of trucks, which was 2019.
Okay.
The last 3 races of the year, it was Bristol, Martinsville, Phoenix. And we actually, in my first truck start, we actually won stage 2. It was really, really cool.
Yeah,
It was because that was the first time I've ever won anything significant in the National Touring Series. Granted, it was my first start, but it was a big moment for me because I was like, oh man, I can actually compete with these guys. And I have people like Ross Chastain and Grant Enfinger, Zane Smith. I have all these guys up my tailpipe, and I'm up there taking it to them.
Yeah.
And so they didn't always end the best because, I mean, I'm getting bullied as a 16-year-old, but that's
learning.
expected.
Yeah.
And, I mean, so we had really good showings with Marty in the 21 truck, and then the next year I think it was 6 starts, maybe 5 starts in the 24 truck with Charles, who was on the 23 car with Bubba now. And he won with Chase Elliott at Charlotte, I think, and then the second one of the season was with me at Bristol.
Dang.
Yeah. And we started 26th or something because there was no practice and qualifying, and I'm not full-time, so I don't have any points to start up front.
Right.
And so the whole race, stage 1, stage 2, we're just slowly getting up to the front. And by the end of it, stage 3 so long that I was 3rd or 4th, and I passed for the lead and got a 6-second lead or something like that, and was just gone.
Yeah.
It was one of those nights where it was my destiny to win that one. There was nothing getting in our way. I think it was Lauren Rainier actually spotting for me in that one too.
Oh man, I bet he was revved up.
Oh man, he was trying to coach me down, just take it easy, bud. You know what you got.
Yeah, you probably start going faster as you're trying to go slower, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It was one of those where he could tell I was getting hyped up. So he's like, oh yeah, it's nice and smooth. I see what you're doing in there.
Yeah, and that, man, watching that race, I remember being up there and I stood down in turns 1 and 2 up in the bleachers, and I was watching it, and like obviously I paid attention, especially from knowing you and being around you and your family and us competing against each other. And I know a lot of it was in passing, but it's like you're a competitor that I respected, and to see you go in and win that truck race is like, okay, like he's bringing some heat now, right? Like it's one thing to go and win at the lower levels. A lot of people do. I know you won a lot more races. You and your team won a lot more races than most at that level. But you go and you're running, truck races here and there, and you go to old Thunder Valley and win one. Like that's awesome, right? And that had to help. I'm sure winning cures everything. We talk a lot about that. It's that had to help a lot of conversations, especially getting, Junior Motorsports to want to sign you up pretty quickly and get you in their fold to run part-time. I think it was in maybe the following year.
Yeah, it was part-time in the 8 for the first year. Me and Josh Berry split that ride.
Yeah.
And I think Miguel Paludo did some of the road courses.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty much reserved for me and Josh that season. And then I got in the one the next season full time. That was my first full time year. But yeah, that definitely helped a lot, especially with the manufacturer. Like having Chevy get behind you as much as they did. Like they were on the car most of those ARCA and K&N races, so they were a huge factor in my success with GMS and obviously with the truck stuff as well. So having them behind me, kind of pushing us and pushing JRM and any other team that I was with in the moment, like having their support, it just propels you forward so much.
Yeah.
Like having that good word helps a lot.
For sure. Shifting gears into your first full-time year at JRM, that would have been 2022.
Yeah, that was a year you spotted.
Yeah, so I'm spotting. And which was cool, like I said many times, it's like it was neat being able to get to know you, compete against you, and then to be called to spot for you. That was a lot of fun. It was for sure, not to speak for you, but it was for sure what any rookie year would be like, right? Like you're going to tracks, the cars are different. The rear end at that time is moving around more. You got more yaw, more skew. Just mile and a halves are tougher. I think the competition level is just harder. There was a lot of guys that were super competitive that year. What were some of the high points and what were some of the low points, throughout that rookie season in the one car for JRM?
Yeah, it was kind of the most vanilla rookie season you could really kind of get. We had a bunch of top 5s, a bunch of top 10s, but also had a crap ton of wrecks as well. Like we probably had like 5 or 6 DNFs throughout the season.
That was probably the spotter? I'm assuming.
Yeah, not clear, right? Yeah. Definitely the guy that wasn't holding the steering wheel.
It always is. Yeah.
Oh man,
that's awesome.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun that year. It was a very boring year. We didn't win any races, but we were always there up front. We finished second a couple times. And it's just, it taught me a lot of lessons, but it also gave me a lot of motivation because I was frustrated I wasn't winning. These guys that I was beating in ARCA and trucks, they're now beating me in Xfinity, and now they're moving on to the Cup Series. It beats you down, but that also motivates you a crap ton. So we showed up in the next year, 23, won 4 races. That's great. But
so walk me through that. So at the end of that year, I had a lot. You and I talked about it on the phone. And this isn't about me; it's about you. But just kind of segueing into the following year, going into 23, there was some changes, right? So you had, I wasn't going to spot. I didn't plan on spotting full time anymore. We had a lot going on with our management company. I ended up getting a call from Kligerman to come in and do his deal, and it worked out great, right? Because it was probably time for a change, right? Whether that's spotter, crew chief. I think you guys brought in Marty that year to crew chief you. So what were Taylor was awesome, right? But obviously you and Marty have a relationship that was really strong, that worked really, really well. Man, that's a big, and I've known Marty my whole life, right? So I'm a big Marty fan, but that's a big That's a big step to go in there and say, like, these are the things that I need to be successful. This is what I need in my team. This is the communication I need with my crew chief. What were some of those? I know you can't share everything, but what were some of those conversations like to bring Marty in? Because, like I said, to Taylor's credit, Taylor was doing a great job. It's just sometimes that chemistry, it's gotta pay dividends, and I think that was a step forward, obviously, that you needed for yourself to go and race up front and win races. So, what was that conversation like, bringing Marty in? And because he was at KBM
at that time
on a truck. So how did that get sorted out, and who brought up that idea?
Yeah. So that whole deal is funny, but like, yeah, Taylor and I, we got along really well. Like, we had awesome moments in Xfinity.
Yeah.
We had a lot of success. The one thing we didn't do was win.
Yeah.
And
you're trying to learn, not to interrupt.
Oh, dude.
You guys you're trying to learn the tracks. He's learning that piece of it on the crew chief side, but like, you're really learning through having to go. You needed to go through some struggles,
and
right?
That's exactly right. Like, Taylor was definitely the foundation of like my Xfinity career. Like, he taught me a lot of things that I needed to learn, whether it was the easy way, the hard way.
Yeah, he's sharp.
I've had some tough conversations with him, and he's put me in my place a bunch of times, and it made me a better person and a better driver because of it. And I mean, Andrew Overstreet, who was the engineer at the time, he was a huge backbone of the team as well. So I mean, that the group that we had going on, they did everything right. Like, it was awesome. The chemistry was there for a long time, and we were executing every weekend. The pit stops were good. Like, the way that we were changing the car and making adjustments on it, it's hard without practice and qualifying a lot of those times. And when we did get it, it was short.
Yeah.
So it made it hard, but we still executed how we needed to. But when we did make the change in 2023, it was I had nothing to do with it. It was crazy. JRM and everyone at the second floor, they all made that choice, and they were like, hey, we're going to bring Marty on. Do you want him? I was like, what in the world? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, Marty and I freaking won
all 13,
14, 15 races or whatever in Canaan and Arca, and had really good success in a truck as well. I was like, man, I can't pass that up. So bringing Marty on board was awesome for my career, because it gives you that extra little bit of confidence when you already have success with someone.
Yeah.
And when you can do that and then put them together at a new level. Granted, Marty was still learning, but he was towing the line and doing his job and making executive decisions on the box and putting us in a good spot. And I mean, it only took 3 or 4 months for us to get our first win together. So once we did, for me especially, it opened up a huge can of worms, because we won 2 weeks later, then another week later, and then we won Homestead at the end of the year to get in the Champ 4. So as at his time, it was a rookie crew chief in Xfinity. Like, he was doing it all. Like, he was in the Champ 4 for the first time. Like, it was we pretty much were doing it all. So yeah, I mean, it was awesome to have him on board and win a bunch of races together. It was a lot of fun, and I just wish we would have won a championship, because we were so close.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's tough, right? Coming down to one race weekend, we hear so much about it all the time, and the media, and obviously we talk a lot about it from a competition standpoint. But you know, in 23, you know, what was cool for me is when you know, you guys are going through the summer months, from the way I remember it, you know, in full transparency for anyone listening, like, we weren't working together, you know, with our management company, and then obviously, or representing you. But it was awesome to see, regardless of you coming and joining our agency, which I'm very thankful for. Man, your maturity level of, you called me up and you're like, hey, like, I want to have a conversation with you. And that conversation obviously is private between us, but what was neat was sitting down with you, not knocking your age, but especially at a young age. Then you're still young, but you're younger then, is just your awareness and saying, like, man, like, I feel like I need some different structure and different support around me. And we had a long conversation about just like getting back on track. We talked a lot about that that night in Bristol and just go enjoy and have fun. And it's such a delicate balance because it's easy for everyone to be like, oh, let's just go have fun. And it's like, well, then are you really working? Right. But like, it was cool to see your season. I think you were being encouraged by Marty, those same things, by upstairs at JRM, which, you know, how much, I love that group, but, you know, to see you turn that season around, because it wasn't always going great.
Sunshine and butterflies,
Yeah,
for sure.
like,
Up until
there's some tough points, and then y'all went and won. I think, was that the year you and your team had to win? Was it the Roval
for the playoffs? Yeah, we were in a must win at the Roval.
Yeah. So you win that race, which that was like your back was against the wall, because if you didn't win,
if I didn't win, you're
out.
We were gonna finish like 12th in points.
Yeah.
Like, it was not a very good.
Yeah.
It was not a very good like stretch of the year. Like, we started off so slow that we got 2 wins before that point, but it was DNF win, 20th DNF win. Like, it wasn't very good. So to get that win there was, it was the biggest win of the year for sure. Purely because it set us up to win Homestead a couple weeks later and lock us into the Champ 4, which that was a big win too, but it wouldn't have meant anything if we didn't win the Roval, because you would have been knocked out of the playoffs.
Yeah, and like what a tough challenge, right? Because I know your background is lefts and rights as much as it is ovals, if not a little bit more, just from growing up. But like, man, that's tough. Like, Roval is probably, I've never cut laps around there, but just watching and listening and having knowledge of the course, it's one of the most probably technical places that we go to, and hard to get a handle on your car, and just taking everything, team, driver, execution, strategy, especially when you have people flip-flopping stages, and man, watching that race, just another key moment where it's like, dang, like, okay, now he can stand in the box and swing the bat and hit the knockoff home run, which a lot of people and their teams can't, you know, show up and stand at the plate for those moments. So that was incredible. I was really proud of you. We hadn't started working together in an official capacity, but just having conversations and I think gaining new respect for one another on the business side, and lead into 2024, that was pretty impressive, because I was definitely paying attention more. Right, I was like, okay, like, man, he's getting it. So you know, going into 2024, you know, you're back at JRM. What was the season like? I know you and I've caught up about it a little bit, but like, walk me through 2024 and the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah, there was all 3 of those things for sure. Like, starting off at Daytona, like the previous year in 2023, I was on my lid down the back straightaway leading and didn't finish, obviously. So going back in 2024, we wanted to kick off strong and have a good day, and kind of set the precedent for the season. And it didn't last very long. It lasted like 12 laps and we were done. That was probably the hardest hit I've ever had in my life as well. So just 2024 didn't start off the way we wanted to, and it kind of just kept going. And bad luck after something else happened, after me making a mistake. It was just always something. Like, I think in the first 6 races of the year, I cut maybe 200 laps. Like, it was the roughest start to the season I think anyone could ever ask for. And quickly it got turned around because we won at Texas and that side-by-side finish with Sieg. But that was the first little spark of life that we really had, because before that it was just I couldn't get out of my own way, or something would always happen, mechanical, luck, crashing, whatever it was. So we started trending upward. We won another race or 2 before then, and obviously won at Iowa in the Roto-Rooter car, which was really, really cool, because it was their second ever race and their first race at home, because they're right there in Iowa.
Yeah.
So winning at home for them was really, really cool. Went throughout the rest of the year just kind of up and down, just didn't have the speed that I really wanted, and made the playoffs still, obviously, with those wins, and won the Roval again. Another must-win situation at the Roval. We did it again. We went back-to-back there, which was really cool. So we made the most of it. Obviously, it wasn't destined to be our year, I don't think. And Round of 8 just was kind of what it was, and we didn't make it. But still had an awesome season. Definitely had some tears shed after Phoenix, because we weren't coming back. So It was one of those years that it's like, man, I just don't know what I needed to do different or what I had to have different for it to go better. But I'm still thankful for the opportunity, and I mean, to win races and to win in 3 different schemes was really, really cool. So yeah, definitely a year that I wouldn't want to have happen to myself again. But
Yeah.
winning races is still amazing, and it's the best feeling ever.
Yeah, no, for sure. I know just from, our work together, especially as we were diving into, trying to find a home for you, going into this season and into 2025, and not just a home, but developing a plan, right? Like you and I, you probably get tired of even us talking about that, but, to see Haas at, we get down towards the end of the year, and it's like, okay, like everyone's under the understanding that you're not going to come back to JRM for everyone's reasons, including yours, right? It's like, all right, like now what? Because there weren't, some of it's our business, but there weren't a lot of options out there. And what was really cool was I remember seeing Joe Custer, and obviously I've worked with Cole, been really great friends with him and his family for a long time, but I don't know what it was. I just wasn't even thinking that would be an option, right? It was just like, okay, like maybe we try to fill out a schedule and do a bunch of different racing. Maybe we try to fill in on, some, I hate to say it, like maybe some back marker cup stuff. Like, it's like, gosh, like nothing to me. And as we were having those discussions, seemed right for you. You're still in your early 20s. You're a race winner. Winning super important. When you're not winning, outside out of mind. But also, like you and I discussed, there's you have to keep trying to climb the ladder, and you can only get experience if you go to that next level. As we're talking through that, like how has your time at Haas been coming in? You're not going back to JRM at the end of last year for this year. Okay, kind of, we all know, like talking, okay, maybe I want to go cup racing. I want those opportunities. You're young, you're fiery, you're winning a lot. Why Haas and Ford and staying in Xfinity Series from your viewpoint, not mine? What is the plan, in your words, for your career and to groom yourself for that next step?
Yeah, I mean, just having a conversation, like a lot of the reasons and understand, but yeah, just the mental clarity that you can get from having a 2-year deal, for one, because most years at JRM, if not everyone, was a contract year for me. So not having to worry about that and re-signing something just to sign it, not having to do that feels good. And, so we can just focus on just being good old boys and going racing.
Yeah.
And Haas provided that, obviously, with Ford and Ford Racing and everyone over there. It was just a good opportunity to kind of get to see a different side of it, because me being Chevrolet forever, that's all I knew. So
Sure.
I didn't know any other programs. I didn't know any other teams. I didn't know like the culture of anywhere else except for JRM. So being able to kind of open my horizons up a little bit and see a different side of it was awesome. And it's a great opportunity for me to go out there and prove that I can win in just about anything.
Yeah.
And so winning at Iowa was a huge part of that already. So we obviously want to do more for sure. But a large part of just going over to what we wanted to do was just for the mental clarity, hit that reset button, experience something new and get better and develop and just be a better human and a better driver.
Yeah, no, I love it. I mean, because obviously anything that you do, you got to be all in on, and to see you jump in head first, once the off season started, you take a little bit of a break. We all need it after Phoenix, just to cool the jets a little bit, but and to have a clear thought process coming back and getting back to work and getting in the shop. But man, to see that race team come together, because there weren't a ton of changes from my point of view on the transition from Stewart Haas Racing over to HAAS Factory Team on the Xfinity side, but there were some personnel changes specific to I guess what would have been the 98, which is now the 41 team. And you got, Jason Trincheri coming in. He's going to be your crew chief. Like, I don't think you guys had ever met but before, maybe
No.
past each other, going to the concession stand or going over to grab something to eat or walking around in the garage area. But how's that relationship been like with Jason? Because outside looking in, man, like you guys are consistent, you're focused, you guys reset nice, not a state of panic. Like how has that been, having the leadership of Jason and working with your 41 team over there?
Yeah, it's been awesome to have him on board, and honestly, a huge part of it is me being able to make choices.
Yeah.
Like when we started this deal over the off season, like we didn't really dial everything in until December, January.
Oh, yeah.
Like it took a while, but once we did, and I was able to be a part of those conversations, and Joe Custer sat me down and was like, "Hey, we have these options for crew chiefs. I want you to sit down and talk to them." And I actually sat with Jason here at Clear 28, and we sat down for the first time and had good conversation, and I pretty much conducted an interview, which was a first for me. It was kind of weird.
What's your favorite color?
Yeah, I didn't know what to ask. I was like, "Well, who are you?" I was like, "I don't know." But it was a lot of fun, and I could immediately tell he had so much personality.
Yeah.
And that's what sticks out to me is you don't want to be some cookie cutter vanilla guy who can be an engineer and all that. That's great, but if you can't lead people and have people in your corner behind you, it's not going to work out as well. So that's one thing that stuck out with him is like he immediately seemed like a leader. So I connected that interview, if you want to quote unquote that.
I'm not laughing. It's just awesome. It's
a funny comment.
I was like, "Would you like run that like Chat GPT and like what do you ask a NASCAR crew chief if we should hire?"
Help. But awesome. It was a lot of fun getting to sit down and talk to him. And I mean, it was like 2 or 3 weeks later. Joe was like, "Who do you want?" I was like, Jason.
Yeah.
And I just said the first person that came to my mind. He was like, "All right, done."
Yeah, go with your
gut.
I was
like, "Wow, I got to make that choice." Yeah. That's pretty cool. So. That's what means a lot to me about this deal with us is like the team's kind of built around me. Like it's the Sam Mayer, Joe Custer, Jason Chincheri. Like we are building this thing. It's from the ground up. Like it's our baby, and being a part of that is just really, really cool.
Yeah.
So having Jason for next year too is awesome as well. I feel like we can win a lot more races. We're not done yet with the season. We still can win a championship, so that's really cool. But just being able to be a part of this organization and have my hand truly in it is it's just really cool. So I'm excited to see what we can do together. No,
it's like I said, it's cool to see y'all have the consistency that you do on the track. And quite honestly, and I'll tee you up for a little shameless partnership plug, but really the 41 car that I see, there's some great partners that are part of it with Andy's Frozen Custard was on your car at Texas. That's a relationship, that we're all great friends with Andy and his family. They're incredible people, but with Roto-Rooter, they were able to come on and support you from an association standpoint and supporting your brand and having a brand partnership with them. But to see the consistency and the support that you have from Audibel, like, talk me through that and just how much that means to you, because you have to have partners supporting, right? It's so much different than stick and ball sports. And it's not like you go and play football. You got to pick up a ball that probably cost, I don't even know how much, call it $30, right? Or maybe it's $100. I don't even know. But it takes a lot to put these cars on the racetrack. And that's got to be super rewarding and exciting for you to have a partner like Audibel support you for the entire season. Like that's almost unheard of in our industry, no matter what series, truck, Xfinity, Cup. That's got to be pretty exciting for you.
So having Audibel as a single partner that is there almost every weekend, they support me in that corner. They want to go win races. They want me to develop and be better. It's awesome to have them in my corner as well. Because it is such a hard thing to find in our industry nowadays.
Well, even just as a fan, right? Like to know, okay, like when you go by every single weekend, to know, okay, there's this signature Audibel car.
Yeah,
with Sam
there's
Mayer
that
driving,
green and
right?
black car. There
Like,
it is. You can't miss it.
It's awesome to see, right? Like I think back on my younger days watching racing and rooting for some of the teams and drivers that my dad worked for, and it's like, okay, like there's these iconic brands that were on for 30 plus races. So it's congratulations on having that, right? Like that's every driver, boy or girl's dream to have that type of support. So kudos to you and to Audibel and all the folks there that are supporting you along the journey. So couple last questions. One I really wanted to ask you is if you could pick the in your mind, what is the best race you have ever driven? It could be in anything you've ever drove. What is the best race that Sam Mayer's ever driven in your history of racing, and why? Why that particular race, and what was dang near perfect about how you drove?
That's interesting because there's a lot of ones that stick out, especially the wins that stick out. But there are so many parts of those races that immediately come to mind that I'm like, well, I could have done that better, or I could have done this better, or I almost threw it away right here. Like take the Roval last year, for example, must-win situation. That's great. But the only reason it was a true must-win situation is because I jumped the freaking initial start and had to do a pass-through under green.
Yeah.
Like before that, all I had to do was really finish top 10 in both stages, top 10 in the race, and we probably would have been okay.
Right.
But then once I did that and got us back and we got no stage points, we had to go win the race then. So can't be that one. The Roval the previous year, like I led almost every lap. I won the race, and it was probably the easiest dominating performance I put on. That would be the only one that I can really think of. Homestead, I didn't dominate the whole time. Cole actually led most of the race, and granted, he made a mistake and got in the wall, but I was still there to capitalize, but I wasn't dominant. So the only one that I can truly think of would be Roval in 2023 or the Bristol truck race in 2020. I think those are probably the two most dominating performances I've had, whether it was I qualified pole or whether I qualified 26th or not qualified at all, I guess, in that case. But
sure.
Yeah, I think that those were probably the big two that I executed. Whether I knew or not I was doing it right, I was definitely doing it right.
So, as of right now, obviously there's the rest of this season, go on this playoff run in the Xfinity Series, as it changes over to, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, where you're going to be next year. What's next? What's next after that? And what is the work that you're doing now? What is that work for? What's the ultimate goal for you? Is it obviously trying to go cup racing, try to win championships? I know there's the standard. Everyone's going to say, I want to win races. I want to win championships. Right. But like how do you want to be remembered? And like, what's next for Sam Mayer?
Yeah. I mean, every Andy's frozen custard needs a base, and the base of that is going out there and winning races and winning championships and hanging banners in the shop. But all the stuff that goes in that concrete is like the execution, the workouts, like showing up at the shop, helping your guys out where you can, being there on the weekends, taking your guys out to dinner, like all the different stuff that you can do to spice up that vanilla custard is like that's what you see, that's what you taste. Like that's the big part of it. So
good point.
Whatever. Gosh, that's a crazy analogy.
Man, that was like you.
I love that.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Andy's gonna be pumped.
Yeah, they're gonna like that.
They might sign on for more races next year with you. We
Son
gotta
of a gun.
call Joe and tell him, man, start decaling cars. So.
Yeah, I love it.
That's awesome.
Seriously, it's like all the stuff that you can do that's not on camera.
Yeah.
Like everyone sees the races. Everyone sees you go drive the crap out of those things and go win races, and that's great. But if you're not doing the work to help your guys out, because they're not going to be willing to do anything if you're not there.
Yeah.
So
good point.
There's so much stuff that's behind the scenes that real beasts do it, because everyone wants to be a beast until it takes takes what it takes to do what beasts do.
Yeah.
Kobe said that. So like, you want to live like Kobe, you got to act like that. But not everyone wants to do that. So it's stuff like that that really can separate yourself and push you forward. Because obviously, I want to go cup racing. That's what the great beyond looks like for me, or I want that to look like for me, I should say. But you have to be able to be driven to do that.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No, that's well said, and we talk a lot about that. It's what you do in the dark, not what you do in the light. And I know I hear that even from your spotter and your coach Tyler Green a lot, even this morning running in the pitch black, and so that was a lot of fun. But man, I can't thank you enough for being on this podcast. I'm super impressed with the man that you are, the man that you're becoming, all the work that you've been putting in. We get to see a lot of the work that you do in the dark, and that's exciting, right? And so I just encourage you to stick with it. It's a lot of work. It's something that I wasn't capable of doing. I know that you have the skill set and you have that drive and that passion, and just keep sustaining it, right? And keep that consistency and keep showing up and quarterbacking your guys. So really proud of you. I mean, I think your stats speak for themselves as to why we wanted to have you on here, because you're definitely someone that we consider proven, driven, and born to perform. And I wish you the best luck for the rest of the season, and keep that edge, man, and keep going. So thank you.
Thank you. We're going to keep on trucking.
There you go. I like it.